Hey friends, so today I'm going to show you how I do my peach cobbler. I'm also going to add some peach crown royal to this dish. Definitely a holiday favorite, but it's also good for any time during the year. As usual, I'm going to have the link to this recipe in the video description. So you're going to start off with at least 64 ounces of frozen peaches, or you can use a large can of peaches, like 105 ounces of peaches. And then you're going to add like 6 tablespoons of butter into a pan. I am using frozen peaches, so I'm just going to toss those right into this pot and let those start to simmer so that it can cook down and create a syrup. I like to use the frozen peaches because the peaches are a little bit more firmer than the canned peaches. But of course, you can use either or, canned or frozen. So as those are starting to simmer in there, I am going to add 2 cups of sugar. And while these are simmering, I'm going to add some butter to this casserole dish. I'm using a 9 by 13 casserole dish and I'm adding butter to that. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's going to make it so much easier when I add the pie crust rolls into the casserole dish. So these are from Pillsbury and I've added some flour on both sides and I'm going to roll those out. And as I roll it out, I'm stretching it so that when I put it into the casserole dish, it's much easier to lay in there. So I use 2 of those first, and I'm stretching those across the casserole dish. And I'm making sure that I am pressing it up against all the edges. So now back to the peaches. These are simmering, they're cooking down really well. So I'm going to pour in some cinnamon. That's 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. And I'm going to stir all that up in there, just making sure that everything is mingling very well in this pot. And then next, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. I didn't squeeze this, I just used like a bottle of lemon juice. And then the crown royal, I'm adding 5 tablespoons of this. You can add as much as you want, but there's about 5 tablespoons that I've added to the pot. And again, I'm going to stir all that. So the next thing I'm going to do is roll out 2 more pie crusts, and this is so that I can make the lattice top. So I'm going to stretch all this out, again adding flour in there, and I'm using one of my bread knives to cut some long strips of the crust so that I can lay some going horizontally on the casserole dish, and then I'm going to lay some going vertically so that it creates like a lattice top. So before adding that, I'm going to add the peaches into the casserole dish. And like I could have poured all of it in there at once, but I wanted you all to see what it looks like. You know, it's tons of peaches. So if you don't like a lot of peaches in your peach cobbler, well, you know, you can skim back, but this is how it looks when all the peaches are in there. And then I like to pour the juice on top so I can see like how much juice do I actually have. And I want to make sure that the peaches are covered and that it's pretty much almost like up, you know, towards the top of this pan. And then I'm going to start adding the strips to the casserole dish. So again, adding them vertically, and then I'm going to add them horizontally. Also, while I'm doing this, I have preheated the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And while it's preheating, you know, I'm doing all of this. I'm also going to add some egg wash on top of that, the lattice top, so that it creates like a nice golden brown. And I'm just added like 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of water, mix it up really well, and then I'm just adding it on top. So after it's been baking for about 40 minutes to an hour, this is what it's going to look like. I also have noticed that like when I make this peach cobbler, if I put it in the refrigerator, it's like the dough gets like really thick. So it's best to keep this out for like a couple of days. You know, if you have a lot of people that's coming over to eat, I'm sure you guys can max this in one day. But if you do have leftovers, you know, keep it out for like 1 or 2 days, and you know, you should be able to toss it after that. But for me, like if I put it in the refrigerator, it just doesn't seem to hold as well. So yeah, so this is how I do it. Again, I'll have the link to the full instructions for my website. That link will be in the video description. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel to see more videos like this and leave a comment too.